Brought to you by Refi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
So I'm calling to talk about your favorite financial instrument, the whole life insurance policies. I have a question about policies that my parents bought years and years ago, and hopefully you can help me figure out what to do with these things. Long story short, me and my family, me and my parents and my brother opened a small business about 5 or 6 years ago. When we did, we borrowed money against my parents' whole life insurance policies to help fund the real estate purchase and construction. It's a dog daycare, boarding and grooming facility that opened 5 years, doing well, profitable, growing. It's in good shape. The first 2 years, we didn't make any payments on those loans, so the amount grew as they capitalized the interest. Then I started making monthly payments on those loans from money that we were making in the business once we became, fairly profitable. So here's my question. These loans, there's six total policies that my parents took out. So $1.4 million in face value insurance, plus the additional insurance they purchased over the years I think they made some overpayments in the past, things like that. I have borrowed about $600,000 against the policy. So here's my question.
What's the remaining cash value?
The net cash value as of today is about $200,000, and the death benefit as of today and all of them combined is about $1.06 million.
Okay.
My question is, do I bother paying these loans down? And if I do I use your snowball effect and go for the lowest balance loans first, or do I pay them off all evenly? Because technically they all have the same interest rate. It's basically like one large basket, right? So am I even benefiting from the snowball, considering there's no minimum payments on these things, right? I can pay them at any time, any way I want. I could make the payment. I could not and let the interest capitalize. You can manage them any way you like. So what do I do with them? Should I pay them? Should I not?
So apparently your parents don't need the actual life insurance.
Well, I mean, look, they took these out thinking, hey, one day.
No, what I'm asking is that if your dad died today, your mom's not going to get much money because the loans are repaid from the death benefit.
Yeah, well, correct. The total value.
So if you have a face value of 1.4 and you have loans of 600, they currently have $800,000 in actual proceeds would come to your mom if your dad died.
Well, there's also an extra $200,000. They also over the years purchased an extra $200,000 of insurance by overpayments. So it's
paid up additions.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, paid up additions. Yeah, so they actually have $1 million in death benefit. But yet you are right, though. By the way, my parents. So they have an interest in our small business. They have income through that. That's actually my second job. I have another job where I'm a trader. I flip the syndicate market, like trade IPOs. I borrowed money from my parents to seed that as well and gave them a percentage of what I make off of that. But basically my parents had income.
Your parents have other wealth?
Yes.
Well, how much?
These insurance, how much?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest, and I don't have total transparency, but I'm going to say all in, they probably have assets of about $1.5 million.
In addition to all this, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and income. Even though they are retired, they have income from 2 businesses that I run that they have interest in. So they you're right. Without this life insurance, they would still be financially safe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think you guys are going to do what I would do because you're so far afield and your parents are so heavily emotionally invested in this process that I don't think there's a snowball's chance that you guys are actually going to do this. But you asked, so I'll tell you. I owe you that. What would I do? I would cancel the whole life policies completely, cash them out, and end it.
Yeah, I had a funny feeling you'd say that.
Yeah. I would just end it.
Yeah.
Because your mom is going to be fine. And if they want you to execute a note for $600,000 back to them, then you would owe them that money because you've reduced the amount they're going to get from the cancellation of the policies by the loan you've taken out. So, they either need to get equity in the business and or more equity
So
in the business.
They do have equity. They have.
I know,
equity.
but does that offset the loan?
Yeah.
No, you're still paying on the loan.
Gotcha.
Right?
No, you're right. You're right. Well, let me ask you this, just because you definitely understand these instruments better than I do, right? So, say I was to cancel these policies today.
They're not yours. You can't. Your parents can cancel them today.
Well, you're right. They will put it this way. They basically I've been managing their finances for them, other than some just assets that they own that somebody else has and it helps them out with, because they're both kind of, frankly, they're a little older and both a little bit unwell, say. So they basically ask me what to do with these things and they take my advice and trust me, and I don't want to put them in the wrong direction here,
Okay, I got you.
But say that I advise them, say, you should close these things down today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they do that. They get out of it what? The net cash value that's left, that $190,000.
Exactly.
They get a check for that $190,000.
Exactly.
And then they have the $600,000 that is owed to them from the start of our business.
Correct.
And that's it.
That's it.
Right?
Right.
Okay. But
they got rid of all the expenses.
So,
and you're not paying interest on your own money.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That all makes sense. The only counter I'd have to help convince me here, Dave, is say that they were to pass away soon, unfortunately, right? I mean, my parents, to be frank, they're elderly. There's just over $1 million of death benefit left over after accounting for the loans, right?
No.
No? How come?
Because you got $1.4 million in death benefit minus $600,000.
No, well, it's $1 million. Don't forget, it's $1.4 million plus the other 200 and what do they call paid up additions?
Okay,
so it's
right.
1.6
minus 8. So, yeah, all right.
Yeah, well, minus 6. Yeah, so it's $1 million. So I looked at the statements, and the death benefit amount for each one of these things added together is just over $1 million. So why walk away from that payout for taking?
Well, I mean, if they're terminally ill and got a year to live, if you want to play that gamble on your parents' death game, you can. I'm personally not doing that. And I don't think they are. I don't think they're 1 year from grave. I may be 1 year from grave. I don't know. But you guys are paying so much in such extreme costs and have for so long on these ridiculous things that the last thing I'm going to do is keep giving these people money. I just couldn't do it. And so, but again, if someone's terminally ill that's on one of these policies and you think you think they got a 1 year, as my grandpa said, he said, I'm not buying green bananas. You think we're running on the end of this thing, then if you want to play that gamble game against their death, that's called an actuarial table. It's the statistical probability of death versus the game you're playing. And I personally, unless someone is, in hospice or something, I'm not going to fool with that. The other question is, are they okay? Have you got their finances set up in such a way that their mom's going to be okay if dad dies financially without these policies? I think she is. And then the same question the other way. But I mean, you do whatever you want to do. That's a different situation. And then the loan you've got back to them for the doggy, whatever it was, hotel or whatever it was. If you've got siblings and so forth, you may have some issues of dividing that up. You may end up owing them, depending on how this will is set up. I'd want to know how the will's done for your sake. But wow,
zero chance he does it.
Agreed. Why refi? Refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.